Hi there, my name is Keiko and I want to talk to you guys about something called invisible illnesses. As I research more into them, I'm going to be sharing more videos with more information as I find out more about them. I will be posting some links with more information about each topic that I cover, so please read up about it. So first topic I'm going to discuss is my own one. I'm going to talk about what it's like to have this illness. So a lot of people don't actually know that I have an invisible illness because, well, that's why they call it invisible. A lot of people that you meet, your co-workers, your neighbours, the nice lady down the road, the old man at the corner store, people that seem relatively normal, that don't seem to have any issue, that look healthy, to look after themselves. Some of them could be actually quite sick. Me, I have migraines. You might be thinking, oh, but they're just bad headaches, aren't they? Not in my case. There's two types of migraines that you can get. You can get migraines with aura and migraines without aura. My type of migraine is a very rare form of a migraine with aura. They're called hemiplegic migraines. Hemiplegic migraines comes from the word pleg, which is some sort of Latin term, but basically is a word for paralysis. Now, not everyone with hemiplegic migraines gets full-blown paralysis, but it basically means that people with them have some form of motor weakness. In my case, I get on my left side, my arm and leg gets quite weak. I can't use it as well as I can, and I get a facial droop, as well as I get something that I've been told is called aphasia, where I can't talk properly. Sometimes I try and talk and the words just won't come out, or just come out as noise, or if they do manage to form words, I get a very, very bad stutter. So it makes life quite hard if I can't talk. It's very hard to function in everyday life. Of course, this is on top of getting the headache, getting the nausea, getting the dizziness. There's a lot that goes on. You can read the links that I've posted below, and they'll give you a full description of what hemiplegic migraines are like for some. I'm one of the very lucky ones. My migraines are actually very mild, so and with my medication I can actually live a very relatively normal life. But because of my migraines, there's been a lot of sacrifices I've had to make. My dream when I was young was to join the military and serve my country, which is something I'll never be able to do because of them. I hoped that maybe I could become a police officer instead, but again, because of my migraines, I will never get medical clearance to do that either. So I have had to face reality that everything I wanted to do since I was a little girl, I will never ever be able to do, and I will have to do something else. And there's a lot of times where my friends want to do things that I can't do. Because of my medication I'm on, I have to be careful now with alcohol. I can't drink as much as everyone else. I've got to be careful about that. Even going to things like theme parks, going on rides, roller coasters and things like that. I can manage some now, but there's some of the more extreme ones that I will never be able to go on. And a lot of my friends love to go on those ones, and I will just have to stand there and watch. Which, I mean, it doesn't seem like a big thing, but just like a lot of those little things, you know, that you will, it doesn't seem like a big thing, but when you can't do them and you'll never be able to do them, it can actually be quite depressing. Road trips, you know, like just being able to get in a car and go is something I'll never be able to do. When it comes to going on holidays or anything like that, I have to put a lot of thought and planning into it. I have to make sure my insurance covers everything. I have to make sure that my medical side of things when I'm going overseas is very well covered, and that usually means I have to pay for the most expensive insurance. I have to make sure that the medication that I'm on is legally allowed in the countries, that I can take all my medication with me. Just, there's so many little tiny things that most people don't have to worry about, that I have to stop and think and make sure that I've got it, that I've done that. Do I have access to a hospital where I'm going? If something like this happens, is there going to be a doctor that can understand me? Is there going to be a doctor that will know what my condition is? Because my condition is so rare that there's only 0.5% of people in the world that have it. So will the doctor even know what to do? Even if I can tell the doctor what needs to happen, is he going to actually listen to me and do it anyway? Or is he going to assume that I'm having a stroke because my symptoms present like I'm having a stroke? And is he going to give me the wrong treatment and give me the wrong medication and make me worse? And possibly do some serious damage to me? There's lots of little things like that that is actually a very real risk that I have to think about all the time. And just things like that. And so it can be quite a struggle. So because of all of this, you know, there's the depression that comes into it as well. There's the little things when you want to go out with your friends for, you know, maybe a coffee, or, you know, go out for dinner, and you can't get out of bed. There's managing your life around work when you have so many sick days and work starts to wonder, do you even want your job anymore? Are you really sick? You know. There's the medical bills. I live in New Zealand, so a lot of it's cheap, a lot of it's free, but a lot of it's not. Because of my condition, a lot of the treatments are actually treated through vitamin deficiencies. So we use vitamins and things like that which actually do show an improvement on top of our medications. And those are not really funded, so those I have to pay for myself. There's lots of other treatments like acupuncture and Botox and stuff that I'm saving up for, because they are also not actually covered, unless acupuncture is definitely not covered for this. Botox, it's quite a fight to try and get cover for that. We don't, we do have health insurance to an extent here, but because I've suffered from these migraines my entire life, it's not something that the health insurance companies would look at covering me for if I signed up with them now. So everything like that I'd have to pay for privately out of my own pocket, so it's quite expensive that way. So there's lots of things like that. There's also diet. So there's lots of these different diet things that you can get that help with managing migraines and things, but of course that can also run up your bill. You know, you can try out different fancy diet things like cutting out this but adding in that, and being specific with foods and things can cause you to have a higher grocery bill, and in New Zealand we do have quite a high cost of living already, so that does run things up. So yeah, there's a lot of things that you have to take into consideration when you have a disease like this that a lot of people don't notice or don't think about. I'm lucky that with the living in central Auckland I can get away with not having to drive. I can use public transport and Uber and things like that, so I don't need to worry too much about that side of things. But if I did drive, I would have to use the disability card, and because of that, I would probably get quite a few, you know, judging looks. You know, this young 20-year-old, or 20-something-year-old is using a disability parking spot. You know, who does she think she is? Why is she using that? Blah blah blah. So, which I've seen before, and that's not really a nice feeling. I've had friends in similar situations that have had, you know, like use of disability dogs that have had to face judgment and people with, you know, very sort of strong questions about why they got a disability dog when they don't seem to be disabled, which is not nice. So yeah, there's a lot of things that go into having one of these invisible illnesses that people don't really, normal people that don't have these sicknesses don't have to deal with or would never even think about. But yeah, so that's just a bit about my opening video, a little bit about having a hemiplegic migraine. I want to get, maybe I might get some of my friends to share some of their stories as well. I'm going to be researching into some other invisible illnesses, and I'm going to post something up again in a couple of weeks' time. If you've got any questions, or if there's any disease in particular that you would like to know more about, feel free to comment any questions or anything, and I'll try to answer them as best I can. Otherwise, I hope that this has been a little bit informative. I'm hoping that by doing these videos and sort of spreading a bit more information about what having an invisible illness is like, we can try and make things a bit easier on ones like myself and ones that have things much harder than myself. So yeah, my name is Keiko, and I will see you guys when I do my next video, hopefully sometime soon. See you.